The hand that pierced through the magic matrix tried to grab the magic ball that was glowing and covered with many streams of power. That was magic. Since ancient times, in the war between the gods was the only power humans and nobles had to fight back. The magic circle amplified the power billions of times, materializing the energy within the body through incantations and unleashing supernatural abilities. A blinding white light exploded violently, like a devastating lightning strike, sweeping away everything within 1,000 jong radius. Kotaro covered his mouth with his hand, continuously muttering an incantation. Amidst the earth-shattering light descending like the wrath of the gods, sweeping across the land below, Kotaro stood calmly and majestically, chanting an incantation, his killing intent surging. A devastating green light exploded, emanating an ancient aura. Glowing rune symbols swirled within the blinding lightning, the heavens and earth shattered, spiritual energy surging like a raging sea. The exploding light caused Titania to awaken with a start, her mind filled with panicked thoughts. This blinding light was burning her retinas, shocking her. She wondered, how could Kotaro have performed such ancient, holy, ice-binding magic? The light shattered the magic array on Titania's neck. Astonished by its power, she thought, no, this is even stronger. Faced with the terrifying power of the light, Titania whispered in horror, I've never witnessed magic like this. Under the blinding light tearing apart the sky and earth, which seemed on the verge of collapse, Kotaro's small figure stood silently facing the overwhelming light, unwavering. His eyes were cold and sharp, radiating killing intent. Titania silently stared at his imposing figure. Her eyes sparkled with gratitude and astonishment. The seal on her neck was completely removed. She remained pensive, still shocked. Sir Kotaro, thank you for saving me, she said. Kotaro's back was full of imposing presence. A whooshing sound stirred the dust on the ground. Titania leaped forward and embraced Kotaro tightly. She closed her eyes, filled with gratitude. Sir Kotaro, thank you for saving me, she said. Kotaro chuckled softly, his eyes softening. You finally woke up, he said. Judging from the image of Elva appearing sealed by an ancient symbol on his neck. I tried it without thinking, but it seems I actually replicated the magic you used on that spirit, he said. Titania smiled, her voice a mix of awe and respect. Kotaro, I've never seen magic like that, she said, causing him to look puzzled. She continued, it must be ninjutsu that enhanced the magic. They looked at each other, sharing the same thought, this is definitely a fusion of magic and ninjutsu. Kotaro's eyes widened, and he exclaimed, ninjutsu and magic. At that moment, Barbatos woke up, sitting dazed and disoriented. The contract seal disappeared. Regaining composure, Barbatos sparkled with glee, but remained arrogant. Good riddance to humanity's hatred. Barbatos decisively pointed at Kotaro, you're very strong, from now on, I appoint you as the Grand General of Hydrat. Kotaro's goofy grin appeared as he climbed onto Barbatos's back and played with her hands, causing her to frown in annoyance. When he touched her ear, she snapped, humph. She gritted her teeth and cursed, you pervert, then she slapped Kotaro's face, making him cry out in pain. What did you touch? She yelled. From behind Barbatos, a small, gloomy figure emerged, the hero Arslad. Arslad gave a wry smile, a voice full of confidence declared, Fuma Kotaro, the new hope of the world. Arslad mentioned the two female warriors, Hyri and Miria, with complete faith, we rely on you too. Sunlight shone on the billowing black dust rising from Arslad. With him, you two can overwhelm the Demon King, even the Demon God race. Arslad bowed his head, giving a helpless, choked laugh, I couldn't complete the hero's mission. Arslad's eyes were filled with despair as he muttered, you probably. Suddenly, Titania approached Arslad, startling him. Titania gently kissed Arslad's forehead, to his astonishment. She smiled softly, praising him silently, you did very well, you are a true hero, Arslad. His eyes widened in surprise. She said goodbye as a final blessing, rest now. Arslad then looked up. Amidst the fading rain and the fiery red sky, 4 figures stood majestically on a high roof, like gods. Arslad looked at them with a troubled heart. Amidst the pouring rain, a clear, ringing laughter tore through the gloomy atmosphere. Arslad's voice faded, like a wish sent to the invisible realm, may this world achieve eternal peace. The bright sun shone on the remains of Arslad, floating in the air. Arslad's voice rang out like a farewell to himself, Arslad, see you in the next life. Kotaro walked towards Titania and called her Hairi. Kotaro looked at her with unwavering eyes, his voice resolute and serious, "Teach me all your magic." Hearing him, Titania looked bewildered and astonished. At the refugee camp, the people gathered in one area. A villager, moved and with grateful eyes, said, "I saw him bring back Hairi and Miria." Another chimed in, their voice filled with admiration, "I also saw him destroy the meteor and tear apart goblins in an instant, amazing." Applause erupted from the crowd. Kotaro was surrounded by the villagers, singing his praises, "Thank you for saving us, our new hero." Kotaro froze, speechless, as the villagers expressed their gratitude. Kotaro's eyes widened, his cheeks flushed, his lips slightly parted, he felt a little embarrassed. Titania's figure emerged from the crowd. She smiled, her gaze filled with pride, like a mother moved to see her child's success. A young boy with green hair laughed joyfully, jumping and skipping around. Barbatos stood silently in a corner, smirking knowingly. It seemed she knew Kotaro was destined to become a hero. Meili, with her green eyes, appeared among the crowd, shyly looking straight at Kotaro. Lord Servain was also present, hidden among the crowd. Servain turned, his gaze cold and sharp with killing intent. Kotaro looked at the villagers, of all ages, but united in their belief that he was their savior. His eyes reflected unusual emotions, confusion, gratitude. Suddenly, Kotaro flinched. It was a young boy who ran up and hugged Kotaro's leg tightly. The boy smiled, repeatedly expressing his gratitude, "Big brother, thank you for saving my father." His eyes widened, slightly startled. After composing himself, his lips moved. The corner of his lips curved upwards. Kotaro smiled, a smile containing satisfaction, delight, and a hint of warmth, an emotion rarely seen from him. This unfamiliar feeling made him confused and pensive. It felt strange. He recalled the times his hands were stained with blood, bodies piled high, limbs severed, the victim's eyes, flashing red, seemed to pierce his goodness, their scorn and mockery weighing on him. He remained silent and emotionless. He muttered, who would have thought, deep within Kotaro's eyes, despair shone like a hollow shell. He thought of Janan's appearance and doubted himself. Kotaro remembered the moment some villagers, terrified, treated Janan as a monster. He wrestled with inner conflict. He who once wanted to protect someone, he witnessed Janan collapsing under the villagers' prejudice, syrup spilled everywhere, a horrifying sight. Returning to reality, he turned to Titania, offering a genuine smile. "Hairi, thanks to you." Titania returned the smile kindly. Under the radiant sky, Kotaro, for the first time, acknowledged a simple yet profound truth. He had the will to fight for someone. The crowd erupted in cheers, hooray for the hero. From the wreckage, a red monstrous creature sat majestically atop a rock, its eyes cold and menacing. It resembled a dragon-bird hybrid, its round eyes seemingly seeing everything. It observed everything, satisfied, and commented on Kotaro. "Fuma Kotaro, quite an interesting child," it mused. "Indeed, I didn't expect him to master magic as well. He's the child I chose, isn't that wonderful?" Facing the ferocious Jura, radiating violent energy, it sighed, "I wonder who will kill the demon king Jura." Jura's eyes changed, blood vessels burst, a voice echoed, laced with murderous intent, "Kill him." Lightning flashed, a silent word of command, crimson energy exploded in the night, murderous intent tore through the sky, looking down at the burning battlefield where hero Fuma Kotaro had saved the four heroes. The sky blazed red, crows scattered, the demon tribe had truly begun their invasion of the world. The blood-stained tactical map, where once bright areas were now just black dots, missing 5 of the 10 demons. The alarm sounded from the command center. The demon king realized that this ninja was a big threat. He gave up on capturing Fuma Kotaro alive, a prophecy, and started hunting him down. This world was slowly leaning towards unprecedented chaos. 6 months later, the barren land, devoid of green, stretched almost to the horizon. Slow footsteps echoed. Pink-haired stood silent and helpless before the desolate ruins, the sky a dark shroud over what was once a sacred land. One leg was steel, yet Pink-haired moved freely. Pink-haired stood amidst a blood-soaked battlefield, surrounded by crumbling ruins under a dim, red sky choked with dust. It was as if the apocalypse had just descended. Pink-haired was bewildered. This place, too, had been destroyed. A gigantic pig-nosed monster appeared, sword in hand, swaggering forward and addressing Pink-haired, who flinched slightly. it smugly exclaimed, "Still survivors, huh." The grotesque pig-nosed monster cackled, its fangs stained with blood. Hee, eat more, eat endlessly to grow stronger. Pink-haired vaguely recognized it as a demon hybrid of orc and lizard folk. It glanced around before suddenly uttering, "Humph." Before it could understand what happened, it was ripped to shreds by Pink-haired's decisive and powerful strike. Blood sprayed everywhere like a volcanic eruption. Pink-haired calmly watched the bleeding monster, their prosthetic leg holding firm. One side of Pink-haired's face bore a long scar reaching down to their chin. The weapon was jagged, yet its power was disproportionately great for Pink-haired's small frame. Pink-haired clutched the strange sword, appearing pitiful, but its power was immense. The name is Jean Dark, a reincarnated SSS-rank spirit summoner, wielding a spirit-severing sword that evolves by absorbing blood and flesh. Their bloodshot eyes, like weeping, yet they arrogantly declared themselves the next generation of the 10 devils. About to continue, he noticed Jean's familiar appearance, stammering, "Wait," red hair. He saw Jean standing amidst a sea of fire, her grip firm on her weapon, her expression resolute, her spirit unyielding. "Could it be, you are?" His whole body trembled as a terrifying memory resurfaced, the brat who had annihilated the Western continent, ruled by the 10 devils. He sneered, looking down on her, "A woman like you is just." Before he could finish, Jean's right foot crushed him, blood spraying. Her back small, yet her spirit immense, she calmly walked under the starry sky. Looking at the night sky filled with glittering stars, she murmured, "Even on this continent, the cries of the suffering still echo in my ears." A question arose from deep within, tinged with bitterness. She gave a wry smile, "Oh, Lord, do you wish me to fight again?" She stood motionless amidst the ruins, when suddenly a bird soared through the sky. A creature with a bird's head and a beast's body flew across the sky, its sharp gaze fixed ahead, carrying an overwhelming aura. Its cold, golden eyes gleamed, seemingly pondering something. Recognizing Jean's potential, a voice spoke, along with Fuma Kotaro's. A calm voice, like a resonant bell, prophesied, "This child is also good, I await their growth." On the divine realm, observing entities whispered, "Reincarnates." The voice continued, explaining, "Those who receive the grace of the world's observers, they possess transcendent power, but with that power comes a price. Because of that power, reincarnates are feared, despised, exploited, and revered." One of the figures continued, sorrowfully, "But despite their power, they are merely flawed souls, burdened with regret and obsession, and when those souls mature," the voice deepened, prophetically, "they will learn to use power unlike any in this world, a glimmer of hope, they will make even the gods fear." A swirling purple magical matrix appeared amidst the galaxy, each rune glowing brilliantly. Jean looked up at the matrix, her expression surprised. As if sensing something, Jean's eyes, icy cold, fixated on the celestial matrix. A violent burst of light erupted, as if something terrifying was about to emerge from a magical gateway in the cosmos. A guttural roar shook the night as a centipede-like monster crawled out of the matrix, alongside another demon king, his eyes burning with arrogance. Amidst the cosmic explosion of color, Igni smirked, exuding arrogance and a challenging gaze. Igni, the third of the 10 devils, sneered, his eyes scrutinizing Jean mockingly, "You're the human who's been wiping out the lower-ranking 10 devils." He saw Jean, surrounded by immense power, yet remaining calmly indifferent. Her gaze, filled with killing intent, remained unanswered. He licked his lips, his gaze burning as he looked at Jean. "Ah, indeed a beauty who knows her place. I like you." He began recounting his life. "I've conquered countless dragons and achieved immense power." His voice became manic as he unleashed a blazing crimson sphere, "And you deserve to be my new plaything, Igni." He cackled wickedly, summoning the enormous sphere, aiming it straight at Jean and yelling, "Vanish." She remained calm, her gaze cold and sharp as a blade. Jean's hands tightly gripped her weapon, as if she had no intention of counterattacking. Igni and the twin sword beast combined to put all their strength into the ball of murderous intent. A scream rang out as if exploding through space, an immoral scream, a hellish fire. Jean's lips curved up in a wild smile, standing before the divine power of that duo. At this moment, a voice rang out, "Iero Daibine Oracle Sword." A blinding light burst from the beast's mouth, tearing through space to reveal its colossal fangs, roaring as it charged, a nightmare resurrected from hell. Igni cackled, "Haha, giving SSS weapons to reincarnates, how infuriating. That's cheating. He then summoned 3 pillars of light. Igni nimbly dodged the attack, causing the beast behind him to take the hit and roar in agony. Jin coldly replied, as the child of God, I will exterminate all demons. The immense magical power caused him to explode instantly, scattering body parts across the sky. Half his face remained, incredulously questioning, they're all reincarnates, don't joke. His pride wounded, his eyes blazing, he roared, you will die with me. He activated the ancient forbidden technique. Suddenly the cursed eye died. Immediately under Jin's feet a beam of light appeared. A beam of light attacked her from behind. Slightly surprised, she reflexively turned her head. Unexpectedly, Kotaro, with an imposing and majestic aura, appeared, shielding her from the attack, leaving her astonished. The shield Kotaro deployed successfully defended against the power of this great magic. Igni was surprised. Who dared interfere? His eyes widened in shock. His magic was being reflected. Panic seized him. Arcanon, the ultimate defensive magic. It's reflecting my magic. I've never seen this kind of countermagic before. A voice explained, sudden death curse eye, a magic passed down among dragon nobles, even light magic cannot stop it. Jin hadn't recovered from her surprise at Kotaro's appearance. Her bewildered gaze was fixed on Kotaro. Suddenly, Kotaro used teleportation, making her jump. Kotaro rushed towards Igni like a whirlwind, leaving him bewildered. Kotaro's eyes instantly emanated magical power, his pupils flashed with destructive light as he glared at Igni. Zarum ninjutsu, sudden death curse eye. Instantly, the remaining half of Igni's face shattered. He finally recognized Kotaro's identity and plunged into chaos. What? No doubt, he's Fuma Kotaro. He trembled in fear. This is on a completely different level from the sudden death curse I know, he admitted, awestruck, truly. A violent burst of light tore through the heavens and earth. Amidst the swirling magical aura, Kotaro's face was impassive, his gaze burning with murderous intent, his red-armored hands formed seals. Kotaro declared powerfully, I will liberate this world from its oppression. Hearing him, Jin was speechless. Behind him, an ancient magic circle glowed. Kotaro's eyes blazed red, magical runes swirling around his hands. The mystical light further enhanced his arrogant and powerful demeanor. He coldly questioned, only 2 remaining 10 demons. Immediately afterward, Fuma Kotaro, with an icy face and blazing red eyes, cast a spell. A magical circle appeared with overwhelming pressure. He spoke, only 2 remaining 10 demons. At the same time, Fuma Kotaro's magical power converged into a giant magical sphere encasing him. Seeing the scene before her, the pink-haired girl seemed to understand something. She asked, you saved me. At the same time, the sphere's magical power dissipated. The pink-haired girl thought, who is this person? Not an ordinary person, that's obvious. The pink-haired girl seemed to have figured something out. She hesitantly tightened her grip on the weapon she held. The sphere's magic completely vanished. Fuma Kotaro remained in his spellcasting posture. The pink-haired girl, her eyes filled with determination and unspoken emotions, looked at Fuma Kotaro. Her cold voice echoed, how do you intend to liberate this world from its oppression? Hearing the pink-haired girl's question, Fuma Kotaro was incredibly surprised. As if he couldn't believe what he'd just heard, he glanced behind him, but quickly regained his composure. That dangerous gaze, upon closer inspection, glowed with a fierce red light. His subsequent words were decisive and to the point, simple, kill the ruler. Looking at the clear blue sky, he contemplated the outcome after the world's liberation. All creatures would be free. He then considered himself, that he too would be free if the liberation was successful. But then Fuma Kotaro fell silent. Memories flooded back, unfolding like a film as he thought of the words freedom, an image of himself standing in a sea of fire, weapon in hand, his white clothes stained crimson with blood. His face remained unchanged, unmarred by the bloodshed. That hateful expression filled his face. The thought continued, I am the child of God, burdened with a mission. He looked at the chaotic surroundings, filled with bloodshed, and then considered reality. Even now, freedom is an illusion. Fuma Kotaro looked up at the starlit sky and spoke, you're a reincarnate, aren't you? The pink-haired girl froze. Immediately afterward, Fuma Kotaro turned to her and continued, you can tell just by looking, the eyes of someone who's walked the brink of death countless times. Indeed, his eyes held indescribable emotions as he looked directly at her, just like me, no, more than me. The pink-haired girl's eyes expressed all her surprise and amazement. But the pink-haired girl felt that she was not the same as the person he just said. You reincarnated, what are you talking about? As a child of God, I am different, my mission is to bring judgment to this world. You say you are like me. Seeing the pink-haired girl's reaction, Fuma Kotaro didn't want to explain further, only saying, you don't understand, but that's basically it. Then, Fuma Kotaro casually continued, I've met several reincarnated individuals, and memories continued to flood back, all of them transcended the limits of humanity, monsters from various places and eras, reincarnated individuals can come to this world from anywhere, we were brought here by some kind of will. Perhaps the Demon King is similar. Are we just dancing in the lap of some great being? Hearing Fuma Kotaro say that, the pink-haired girl couldn't help but wonder, you mean, that being is God? Fuma Kotaro simply replied, perhaps. Immediately after, with eyes filled with deadly resentment, and a low voice, he said, if that's the case, gods will kill gods, Buddhas will kill Buddhas, I won't allow that ruler to exist. Seeing this, the pink-haired girl only lowered her eyes, not responding. At that moment, a vibrant, colorful sky, like the Milky Way, appeared. But beneath it was barrenness, all black and white, cracked, more precisely, this was the end of the world. Suddenly, amidst this seemingly lifeless scene, an object began to stir. Looking closer, it appeared to be a hairy monster, with a dart as big as its body stuck in its back. Beside it, a round, unidentified object with two glowing red eyes appeared. When the object became clearer, it turned out to be a blue slime. It excitedly exclaimed, found him, finding you was a pain in the ass. The blue slime, maintaining the same expression, continued, I have something I absolutely must tell you. It turned out he was the number one of the 10 devils, the slime. But the person being addressed seemed pensive and not very happy. A face appeared, with emerald green eyes and a maroon scarf covering half of it. It responded, get out of the way, I'm not interested. This was the first reincarnated person, Fuma Kotaro. Hearing Fuma Kotaro's reply, the blue slime laughed, ha ha ha, so cold, not interested in me, I'm the strongest among the 10 devils, after all. Suddenly, the blue slime seemed to remember something and said, oh, by the way, I know a super strong guy, help me fight him. As soon as the words left his mouth, Fuma Kotaro immediately gave the blue slime a deadly glare. This moment successfully scared the blue slime, making it tremble. Then, Fuma Kotaro cleared his throat, looked down at the blue slime, and said in a threatening voice, you're giving orders, you, a piece of trash, dare to order me around. The blue slime went limp, its voice shrinking, sorry. At this point, both were silent, the atmosphere heavier than before. But immediately, the blue slime broke the awkward silence, cuckoo, good, very good, killing intent overflowing. Suddenly, the blue slime widened its eyes wider than ever before and shouted, but I am the pinnacle of the 10 devils, I am the strongest of the demon race. Saying this, the blue slime cast a spell, a beam of light appeared like a cluster of 5-colored stars. The blue slime then chanted the incantation for the peak 4-element magic, simultaneously casting them. At the same time, the blue slime sang fusion. Immediately, the 5-colored beams of light merged. The blue slime controlled the magic spell with its body, its blue veins bulging, aiming at Fuma Kotaro. It shouted, turn to dust, super magic. But Fuma Kotaro simply stood there, watching the power surge about to attack him without dodging. At that moment, the magic beam exploded, engulfing the entire space. The blue slime's magic dyed a whole area of the sky. Then shot towards Fuma Kotaro like a thunderbolt striking the ground. Seeing this, the slime joyfully laughed, I did it, he deserved it, I blew him away. But life doesn't give anything easily. Before the slime could celebrate for long, it received a blow from Fuma Kotaro, cleaving its body in two. It turned out to be the dart that Fuma Kotaro always carried. After severing the slime's body, the dart immediately returned to his side. Fuma Kotaro only needed to raise a finger to cause the slime's body to split into many pieces. The slime couldn't react and could only cry out in pain. Then a series of magical incantations were chanted, fire release, water release, wind release, lightning release. Fuma Kotaro spoke in a low voice, we all know them. Magic is so boring. It will never reach the level of our ninjas, garbage. This level of fire isn't hot or cold, there's no feeling. It seemed the slime had been completely defeated, but unexpectedly, the pieces of the severed green slime split into many independent entities, raging furiously and charging towards Fuma Kotoru, screaming, "You've driven me mad. My characteristic is infinite replication," they added defiantly, "Go ahead and kill me, if you can." The words were barely out when a barrage of slashes cut through all the newly cloned green slimes. They screamed, too much super magic." But without letting them continue, Fuma Kotoru unleashed more slashes, reducing the already small green slime bodies into even tinier fragments. Then, spreading his arms, he chanted the wind release jutsu. "The wind demon's fury is too weak, there's no one in this world who can give me a true life or death battle. Fuma Kotoru I, the creator of all jutsu. The founder of the Fuma clan. Later jutsu were merely recreations, he was the true creator of the origin of jutsu. With this level of power, he could annihilate anyone on the battlefield. By inheriting his name, the succeeding Fuma Kotoros forced their enemies to live in unending terror. Suddenly, two other monsters appeared, one carried a floating weapon, the other poked a pink head out of the dark void, saying, "Well done." Fuma Kotoru turned to look at the source of the sound. Closer inspection revealed a demon with purplish-pink eyes surrounded by a mysterious black iris, and a striking third, crimson eye in the center of its forehead. This was Jura, the Demon King. The other demon wore a mask, around its neck was a glowing golden amulet. This was Zenova, the second of the 10 demons. Fuma Kotoru glanced at the two demons indifferently and said, "Demon gods, false gods." Returning to the scene with the pink-haired girl and the present Fuma Kotoru. As if sensing something that had just happened, she coldly stated, "That magic just now." The pink-haired girl, hearing Fuma Kotoru's sudden mutterings, looked confused and bewildered. Fuma Kotoru fell into contemplation, his eyes darkening as he pondered the existence he sensed, an incredibly intense killing intent. Who was it? Having decided, Fuma Kotoru instantly cast magic. A jade-green magic circle appeared beneath him, pulsing with powerful magical energy. Then he looked at the pink-haired girl and said, "I sense demons, will you come with me?" Hearing his invitation, the pink-haired girl was stunned. But her eyes immediately turned cold, she refused outright. Fuma Kotoru's proposal reminded her of his earlier words, "Gods, I kill gods, Buddhas, I kill Buddhas, I accept no ruler." Then the pink-haired girl spoke, "There are no rulers in this world." Then, she thought back to the bloody war she had experienced, silently considering herself a child of God, living to bring the divine will to this world, freedom. Remembering this, she pursed her lips, feeling a sense of annoyance. Now, the pink-haired girl answered Fuma Kotoru, "I can't go with you." The next encounter. Her eyes sharp and determined, but also filled with resentment, she said, "Perhaps we will be enemies." As soon as the words left his mouth, Fuma Kotoru just coldly replied, "Is that so?" Suddenly, the pink-haired girl hesitated, but she didn't dare look directly at him. Her gaze averted, she continued, "Thank you for saving me, I will repay this debt." Hearing that, Fuma Kotoru just smiled tightly. I thought he would stay silent and not answer, but right then, Fuma Kotoru smiled brightly and continued, "Yeah, I'll wait." Having said that, Fuma Kotoru immediately used ninjutsu magic, also known as teleportation magic. Took him out of sight of the pink-haired girl. The pink-haired girl stood there, her eyes following Fuma Kotoru. Then immediately her expression changed, her eyes darkening as she uttered the two words freedom, with a disdainful and contemptuous feeling. At this moment, the ninjutsu transported Fuma Kotoru to the end of the world. But upon arrival, he witnessed an incredibly powerful purple magical surge before him. At the same time, Fuma Kotoru, the first reincarnation, was battling two demons from the Oni-Kami clan. The demon attacked with a luminous chain sword, while Fuma Kotoru countered with a frenzied wind magic. During the first reincarnation's attack, Fuma Kotoru inadvertently saw the ninjutsu on his person. At this point, both sides paused momentarily. The Demon King chuckled, "Fufufu, your power surpasses even the rumors." He then let out a cunning and sinister smile, continuing, "And the dark emotions sleeping deep within you." The Demon King continued his words, each syllable uttered with a sarcastic and excited smile, as if he were exploiting Fuma Kotoru's psychology or weakness, his infinite resentment and hatred, perfectly suited to our demon clan. He waited for the opportune moment, when Fuma Kotoru's guard was down, then quickly approached, attacking from behind with a loud shout, you will surely be mine. Just as he seemed about to fall to the Demon King's attack, Fuma Kotaro simultaneously used 3 incantations, Jade Will, Ninjutsu, and Severing Technique, successfully dispersing the Demon King's attack, blocking 1 blow, and then defeating the second 10 demon, Zenova. Not stopping there, Fuma Kotaro turned his icy gaze towards the Demon King, saying, "Now, it's just you, Demon King." His appearance was something the Demon King never anticipated. He was shocked, speechless. "You." That very action infuriated the haughty Demon King, his face contorting, but he forced himself to remain calm, gritting out each word, "You dare touch what is mine. I intended to bring you to us, the demons, but it's no longer necessary." Immediately afterwards, the Demon King roared with rage like a raging storm, "You will die today, here, Fuma Kotaro V." Upon hearing the Demon King reveal Fuma Kotaro's identity, the first reincarnation of Fuma Kotaro froze, staring at the person before him and silently analyzing. Fuma Kotaro's technique just now was. And he immediately understood, it was himself after his 5th reincarnation, returning to help. He pulled down his mouth covering and let out an excited smile. The scene remained unusually calm. Fuma Kotaro quickly unleashed a magical circle, from which magical orbs emerged. Gradually, the orbs grew larger, emitting a blinding light. Fuma Kotaro combined these orbs into a single, massive light sphere. The light illuminated every corner, so bright that everything around became white, gradually seeming to be erased. Jura, standing below, continued to stare at the scene above. Seeing such powerful winds, Jura realized, "So, you've mastered magic." Then he widened his eyes with interest, "Very interesting." Fuma Kotaro, amidst the powerful winds now stilled, spoke, "It seems magic is ineffective against the gods." Another version of Fuma Kotaro, his eyes devoid of emotion, coldly stated, "That was an experiment." Upon hearing this, Jura, slightly bewildered, made some strange noises. Through the dust, Fuma Kotaro's main body behind him let out a wide, ear-to-ear grin. The laughter grew louder, accompanied by an amused gaze. From Fuma Kotaro with the hair hanging over his face, some sounds emanated, ninjutsu, blood armor. Gradually, his hand swiped across his neck, causing it to bleed. The blood flowed more and more. Then Fuma Kotaro's body was encased in red armor, his arms were also heavily armored. Fuma Kotaro was now completely red, with a flowing cape, blood armor ninjutsu, an advanced ninjutsu that hardens blood and uses it as armor. With this armor, Fuma Kotaro opened his eyes wide, extending 2 fingers forward, generating power. "If you're serious, I'll crush you with ninjutsu, half-baked Demon King." Hearing that, Jura stood silently. Then his mouth slightly curled up, "Huh, you dare." A light gradually approached, a voice echoed in the space, "Jura, a failure like you, but if you achieve something, you can return here." Returning to reality, Jura affirmed his ideal, "I will gather the strongest demons and one day become a true god." Then, his eyes widened, cracking, his mouth opening wide like a monster's as he roared, "I am the real Mister." The shout ended, and several rays of power emanated from Fuma Kotaro's side. Jura's curses continued, "Fuma Kotaro I, submit to me and kill him." The boy, hearing this, emitted more and more power, the curse reincarnation sacred art. Then, a strange circular symbol appeared on the boy's neck. Jura continued to shout, "I will amplify your dark emotions and bring you to my side." Then, silence fell for a moment, both Fuma Kotaro's faces darkened. The white-haired Fuma Kotaro flicked his hand. Instantly, the strange symbol on the boy's neck shrunk. Then it vanished without a trace. Jura, seeing this, was immediately puzzled. What? Fuma Kotaro now looked at Jura as if he wanted to devour him alive. Jura opened his mouth and let out a loud scream. This time, Fuma Kotaro spoke, "Do you think that will work on a ninja?" Seeing this, Jura created something enormous on either side, "Don't underestimate me." It grew longer and chased after Fuma Kotaro. Finally, in that place, it transformed into a pair of enormous hands standing majestically. The surrounding rocks shattered and fell. Fuma Kotaro V flew up, wearing a cloak. Jura, now in his giant form, asked, "Do you think you can face a god?" Another light flashed. Gradually, it spread, feeling like it would erase everything. The light shot incredibly fast, directly into Jura's face. The dark atmosphere was gradually enveloped by the light prevailed. Then, Jura was buried by countless rocks. Demon Lord Servain appeared, walking and staring intently. After a long time, Servain's gaze remained cold and unchanged. The ground shook violently, causing rocks to fall from everywhere. Jura stood on a high cliff, looking down into the deep abyss. Below, Fuma Kotaro slowly flew up. Jura angrily looked at the two and said, "Do you think you can face a god?" Ignoring the demon lord's words, Fuma continued to charge forward. He looked at him with a piercing gaze. Behind Fuma, a person with long gray hair followed. He also looked at the demon lord and gave a savage smile. Then, both quickly charged forward. The conflict quickly erupted. Jura hastily tried to gain the upper hand, spewing a giant cloud of white smoke towards the other two. The demon lord's violent whirlwind swept everything away. On the other side, demon lord Servain was staring at him. She remained silent for a long time. The enraged demon lord continued his attack. He used his giant hands to shake the surrounding land. In the hazy smoke, Fuma Kotaro slowly approached. He coldly said, "As long as I have my blood armor, you won't be able to hurt me." Then glanced at the opponent. Fuma sat proudly with his feet up on a small rock in front. Then sat shaking his legs and chuckled. Fuma glanced towards the demon king Jura. Blood Kai was Fuma's secret technique, his body. Jura, seeing this, quickly scoffed, harmlessly. His mouth angrily cursing incessantly, "You damned dog, enough with the damned dog." Then continuously launched a barrage of attacks. "Die." Jura roared angrily, "All of you die." All the spikes beneath the ground sprung up at his roar. The enormous spikes piercing through the thick layer of earth. The ground shook, causing rocks to fly and shatter. Fuma nimbly dodged the huge spikes. He charged straight towards the demon king. "Everything you touch is destroyed, isn't it?" Then used his magic. "Troublesome, I must quickly deal with you." Below where Fuma was flying, a giant spike suddenly shot up like a gust of wind. It quickly pierced through Fuma's body. Suddenly, his body gradually dissipated, a faint wisp of smoke appeared. Unexpectedly, Fuma quickly charged from another direction, water mirror technique. Then used his sharp claws to attack, ninjutsu, thunder area. A large bolt of lightning enveloped the giant spike, creating elusive illusions. Fuma quickly seized the opportunity and flew straight above the demon king. Jura was astonished and repeatedly questioned, why, a god like me, so lowly?" He angrily opened his eyes wide and looked up. "What is this? What are you?" Fuma coldly replied, "What am I? I've known that for a long time." Then quickly cast magic. "I am Fuma Kotaro, a human." Jura gnashed his teeth in anger. He angrily roared, "So you're the chosen one, huh? But in the end, both you and I are just toys in the hands of the gods." Before Jura could finish, Fuma quickly attacked downwards, nothing more. He coldly looked at Jura, Fuma's 12 forbidden techniques. He gently lifted a leg, slowly using magic. Then lightly kicked, Wind Demon Bullet. The kick successfully finished off the Demon King. His entire body quickly exploded. The entire sky was covered by a blanket of black smoke. The Demon King's pit was also empty. The ground around it shook even more violently. Fuma also gradually descended with the momentum, quickly regaining his composure. Then descended like a bird into the black hole. Fuma Kotaro flew like a bird down into the earth, gently landing. Then carefully observed everything. Beneath the earth was another world. At the same time, two special figures also descended. They quickly landed on the giant spikes. Their landing caused the entire area to tremble. Fuma gently sat down on that thorn. He glanced around. The damn thing was persistent. Opposite Kotaro was a gigantic monster. With a single eye. It gradually revealed its true form. A mysterious figure also emerged. It had a blue horn, a giant monster with two blue horns. He loudly said, kneeling down. Fuma was surprised for a long time. Then suddenly something made Fuma Kotaro uncomfortable. Fuma suddenly fell down. Then Fuma Kotaro's whole body went numb with relentless pain. The monster opposite smiled contentedly. "How's this? Witness the power of the gods. My words are reality." He smirked triumphantly. "This is the unique skill of the spellcasting deity clan." Then he continued to use his ability. "My words are reality." It greedily enjoyed it. Tremble, fear. Your life is in my hands. I can kill you however I want. Fuma Kotaro quickly fell into contemplation. The monster suddenly cried out, dying, poisoned, pain. Fuma Kotaro also suffered along with it. His eye muscles tightened increasingly. His eyes gradually turned white. His whole body seemed uncontrollable. The monster laughed gleefully, unaware that his body was gradually being eroded. Kukuku, my next words, you will die, Fuma Kotaro. After all, this body can only use one more sentence. Fuma Kotaro secretly regained his composure. You are indeed a failure. At that moment, the monster's chest suddenly bled. It triumphantly shouted, die, Fuma Kotaro. Fuma Kotaro coldly said, silence. The monster groaned in pain incessantly. Fuma Kotaro also became more strained. But unexpectedly, after a moment, the monster's whole body exploded, the frenzied death jutsu. Its body flew everywhere. Frenzied death is a high-level jutsu, instantly enhancing physical abilities by releasing adrenaline. The monster was furious, not understanding what happened. A moment ago, he had used a divine technique. But then it quickly realized something, so. He looked into the distance and thought, so that's it, that's why he could master magic in such a short time. Fuma Kotaro silently watched the monster's pathetic defeat. His unique skill is copying. It angrily cursed under its breath, damn it. Now only Fuma Kotaro stood alone on the thorns. But behind Kotaro was the demon Lord Servain. She stood silently for a long time. Then she smiled. Fuma also quickly realized something. Fuma Kotaro, the fifth inheritor of my name, interesting. Fuma stood alone in contemplation. Fuma Kotaro gently looked up at the sky. Then he whispered, Hairi. This place finally became a place where she could smile. Fuma sent his words towards the vast sky, at least in the world above. Suddenly, from behind Servain, a voice spoke, it's useless, Fuma Kotaro. She seriously looked at Fuma Kotaro. The cycle of hatred and conflict is endless, killing solves nothing. Fuma Kotaro confusing, Servain. Fuma Kotaro said, what are you not understanding, huh? Seeing this, Fuma Kotaro quickly explained, I knew that, my world is the same. She recalled her experiences, all worlds are the same. Endless conflict. Then, without hesitation, he said, I don't intend to save this world, I just hate those kinds of rulers. On the other side, a mysterious figure was observing their actions. He looked at Fuma Kotaro and said, well said, fifth, I like you more now, that's how a ninja should be. His appearance was almost identical to Fuma Kotaro, except for his blue eyes and gray hair. Ultimately, we're all just battle maniacs, nothing but killing skills. When I meet a strong opponent, my body itches, I can't help it. From a distance, Fuma Kotaro quickly recognized him. He whispered, ninja. Suddenly, something frightened Fuma Kotaro, an opponent as strong as you. The ninja had approached Fuma Kotaro without him knowing, indeed, the heir to my name. Fuma Kotaro's eyes widened in fear, the heir to his name, you, could it be? He quickly realized, you can satisfy this itch, this desire. It doesn't exist in Japan. In these two worlds, there seems to be a bunch called emperors, but I've killed them all, they're all trash. He said, the loneliness of the undefeated, no matter how many people I kill, I'm not satisfied. Until now, I've realized something. The only one who can compete with me is myself, if only we could fight to the bitter end. The ninja angrily looked at Fuma Kotaro. Unexpectedly, this dream of mine has come true. Fuma Kotaro thought to himself, I don't intend to fight him. Kotaro quickly made a decision, since you've shown such killing intent, I can't remain silent. The ninja boldly challenged him, let's see. Fuma Kotaro looked straight ahead seriously. Both refused to yield. Suddenly, some energy startled them both. In an instant, both were suspended in midair. What the heck? A voice in the space began to speak, the chosen hero has defeated the demon lord, join us. Fuma Kotaro suddenly realized something, that voice was. The ninja also looked at Kotaro in confusion. At this moment, Fuma Kotaro suddenly recalled that time, when on a rainy night, he encountered something strange. His wide eyes reminded Fuma Kotaro of it even now. Servain, seeing the critical situation, quickly approached, hey, what the heck is going on? Fuma Kotaro quickly spoke, Servain, I know you're here, you've been watching me, haven't you? Fuma Kotaro said, thank you. This frightened Servain, who quickly denied it, I have no interest in you whatsoever. That strange power grew stronger, pushing Fuma Kotaro further away. Also, could you give Hairi a message for me? Fuma Kotaro quickly instructed her, I'll definitely be back. Servain was stunned. Then she quickly agreed, understood, I'll do that. Fuma was now satisfied. Immediately afterward, a white light gradually engulfed him. Demon Lord Servain stood still, watching Fuma Kotaro completely disappear before her eyes. A white light flashed and disappeared in the twilight. Darkness was slowly approaching. In the darkness, drops of light blue water gently fell from above. They quickly dripped down, forming a small puddle. Fuma Kotaro's weapon suddenly appeared beside it. He stood still looking forward. In the sunset sky, each star gave off a sparkling light. The ninja and Fuma Kotaro stood still in the air. A crimson light flashed in his eyes, silently declaring, this place. Fuma Kotaro's eyes glazed over, recalling. A gigantic arm emerged from the darkness, pointing at his head. Fuma Kotaro's eyes began to twitch, bloodshot again. The ninja lunged, hand outstretched. Seeing Fuma parry the attack, he swiftly stopped. The ninja glanced at him, a praising smile on his face. Good defense, perhaps I showed too much killing intent. Fuma Kotaro looked at him inquisitively. Hey, you intend to fight even here? He responded with a strange chuckle. Cuckoo, location doesn't matter. The ninja's eyes blazed with madness as he declared, I only care about strong opponents, for I am the greatest Fuma Kotaro. Fuma Kotaro was startled, suddenly realizing, the greatest, so that's it. In the darkness, his voice murmured, the greatest Fuma Kotaro. No, the true Fuma Kotaro, Hojo Jinan, the ninja's former master, said, looking at him, for years, from this day forward, you are Fuma Kotaro. Fuma Kotaro was shocked and speechless. He bowed his head, whispering incessantly, the name. A name born from a mountain of corpses. Since childhood, Fuma Kotaro had crawled out from a sea of blood. The battlefield was his home. From there, he wielded strange techniques. And smiled while spilling a sea of blood. Fuma Kotaro became a monster. Hojo Jinan smiled, declaring, you will inherit a god's name, a powerful, immortal god, a name that will forever be remembered in legend. A light flickered in Fuma Kotaro's eyes, returning to reality. He looked up at the ninja inquisitively, the strongest ninja. The ninja was dumbfounded, staring at him. Fuma Kotaro was enveloped in flames, transforming into a fiery phantom, roaring, the one who defeats me is the true Fuma Kotaro. His mouth opened, revealing a full set of sharp teeth. After the ninja closed his mouth, flames erupted around him. His entire body was engulfed in flames. Using fire grand mastery is me, alright. Fuma Kotaro and the ninja were both surrounded by a sea of flames. Then, both quickly charged towards each other. The two flames, from Fuma Kotaro and the ninja, collided. Immediately afterward, the flames soared into the sky. Fuma Kotaro and the ninja lunged at each other, beginning their exchange of blows. Then, their figures flashed, disappearing. They continuously clashed, creating massive explosions. The ninja charged at Fuma Kotaro, shouting, good, excellent, fifth. He frowned at him, shouting, I know what you've been through to reach this point. In the ninja's mind, appeared. The past Fuma Kotaro had endured. He cried out, a realm beyond ordinary people's reach, impossible without unwavering conviction. I've been waiting for a strong opponent like you for a long time. His eyes showed madness. He opened his mouth wide and roared, use all your heart to kill, my fellow man. Fuma Kotaro heard that, calmly glanced at him. A red light flickered in his eyes as he muttered. It's strange, I also want to test my strength. In the darkness of his mind, a thought flickered, could I defeat the real Fuma Kotaro? Fuma Kotaro and the ninja charged towards each other, beginning their clash. Then, their figures blurred and vanished. They continuously clashed, creating massive explosions. The ninja lunged at Fuma Kotaro, Lotto, good, excellent, fifth. Fuma Kotaro and the ninja were both engulfed in flames. Then, both quickly charged towards each other, carrying the flames. The ninja's eyes turned white within the sea of fire. He thought, receive my full power, Fuma Kotaro the fifth. A frenzy roared in his eyes, electrifying his soul and igniting his blood. Memories flooded back in the darkness, a battlefield overflowing with corpses. A small hand reached out from the pile of corpses. That hand grasped a corner of a corpse and pulled itself up. A ninja with blood-stained blue eyes emerged. In the darkness, those blue eyes were terrifying. The blood-soaked ninja crawled out, thinking, I've been cursed since birth, crawling from an endless mountain of corpses. He lived by eating corpses. Immediately afterward, a fierce fire erupted. The ninja blazed with fire, letting out a roar. The surrounding people screamed in terror, What is this kid? Those consumed by the flames screamed at the burning figure, Monster, monster. The ninja inside the fire only revealed his eyes and hands, gripping tightly, muttering, This power. Seeing this, the ninja smiled and exclaimed, A curse as well. A group of mummified figures looked at him and inquired, Boy, what kind of rappa are you? The ninja's eyes were full of doubt. He repeated, Rappa. The mummy exclaimed, Don't pretend, it's definitely ninjutsu, rappa, kamari, kusa, different names, but we're all the same, ninjas. A red light flashed in his eyes as he recounted, machines that only know how to kill. The ninja frowned dubiously and asked, Only know how to kill, so. He let out a cruel smile, Are you strong? The mummies were startled and their eyes widened in shock. The ninja thought, Only in the midst of life and death, then, blood spurted out. Blood covered his body, he thought, only when fighting strong opponents. The ninja's eyes widened and thought, Only then do I feel glad to have been born. White clouds drifted peacefully in the sky. The ninja looked at the blood-soaked ground, thinking, even after becoming a ninja, the blood on the ground was impossible to erase. From the moment I was born, killing was all I knew. The ninja smiled and whispered, Therefore. Back to reality. The strong flames from the two people Fuma Kotaro and the ninja collided with each other. Then the two people quickly flew out. The ninja laughed, looking at his shattered armor. On the other side, Fuma Kotaro frowned, looking at his broken armor. The ninja opened his mouth in a wide grin. He bared his teeth in a ferocious smile. The ninja looked at Fuma Kotaro, questioning, The firepower is strong, but how about this jutsu? His eyes flashed blue as he shouted, Ninjutsu. Immediately after, Fuma Kotaro's eyes turned red. Between them, a white orb of light appeared, then, from within the white orb, a group of black objects emerged. Fuma Kotaro looked at the figure before him, questioningly, You are. The purple eye on top of that person's head widened instantly. Meili gasped in shock, shouting, What the hell is this, what's happening? The red-scarved reincarnator glanced over and shouted, Shut up. Immediately after, 3 beams of light flashed in the sky. Then, 3 orbs of light rapidly shot towards the 3 standing figures. A figure emerged from within the orbs of light. The light dissipated, revealing a girl. The reincarnator Jeanne d'Arc looked up and shouted, Lord, please guide me again. Immediately after, 2 figures appeared within the other 2 orbs of light. A grotesque figure appeared. The reincarnator Leafthrazer, the survivor, his face hidden in shadow. Ragnar Lodbrok licked his lips, grinned, and exclaimed, What's this, a bunch of weaklings? The reincarnator Ragnar Lodbrok maliciously smiled at Fuma Kotaro and the ninja. He stood still, gazing at the group of people. Fuma Kotaro silently thought, They're all reincarnators. Immediately after, he looked up at the sky. In the sky, streams of yellow light rapidly approached. Lodbrok, Jeanne d'Arc, Leafthrazer, and Meili simultaneously looked towards Fuma Kotaro and the ninja. He glanced towards the sky. In the sky, streams of yellow light rapidly approached. Each orb of light violently struck the cliff face. They emitted yellow light that spread rapidly around. The orbs of light shone brilliantly. Figures emerged from within those orbs of light. There were beings unlike anything I'd ever seen. Everyone here is no ordinary person. Well, newcomers, what's this, planning a grand party? Besides me, there are many more newcomers. What's your intention, oh, Lord? An apostle like me has a responsibility. Look, so much delicious food, Meili. Damn it, you dare interfere in our life-or-death battle. What? Haha, demon-slaying heroes, reincarnators, what a spectacular battle. Even though I predicted that cruel existences like you would kill the Demon King, let's make the atmosphere a little hotter, shall we? We need more blood for the gods, for the great divine tree. This is the root of the world. Branches pierce through the worlds, the trunk connects them all. Yggdrasil, the world tree, this is its root. Blood from all worlds flows here. Thus, the worlds are sustained, thanks to you. The bloodshed is increasing, but it's still not enough. I want more blood. However, mere frenzy isn't interesting, therefore, even ruthless beings like you have those who rebuild connections after resurrection. The world where each of you is reborn will collapse after your death, the fifth world, the sixth world, the seventh world, so, if you don't want to lose them, kill and survive. The one who spills the most blood will have all their wishes granted. Ha, you're really a god, you look more like a twisted evil god, wishes can be fulfilled using incantations, right? If I die, they will too. 3 beams of light converged, flying in the same direction. The goblin was enveloped in the light. He bared his teeth in amusement, saying, "The gods are such a joke, wherever they are. But this setup looks interesting." Watching the other beams of light, the goblin couldn't hide his anticipation. Meanwhile, Jeanne d'Arc, her face impassive, charged forward. Ragnar Lodbrok, with confident demeanor, smiled triumphantly. Only Leithrazor kept his face hidden behind his cloak, his expression unreadable. Meili's light, his eyes slightly hesitant, contrasted with the determined attitude of Fuma Kotaro next to him. They all moved forward, none knowing their destination. Suddenly, the beams of light swirled. A strange purple light emanated from the center. As the light grew brighter, a beam shot downwards. It landed on a strange land, with a giant branch at the center and lush, root-filled earth surrounding it. Jeanne d'Arc's figure vaguely appeared. After the light dispersed, her body became visible. Jeanne d'Arc stood there, looking around with majesty. She glanced at the terrain, muttering, "This place. This is the 16th world, Grisfire. This world was created by the soil between the trunk and branches. The roots of the upper trunk grew luxuriantly on that soil, creating a complete world." Then, 3 other beams of light arrived. They swirled in the air for a moment, then descended, landing on other roots of the tree before Jeanne d'Arc's eyes. Figures emerged from the light one after another. Someone's deep blue eyes fixed on her, then, thousands of eyes of another creature, the goblin, lurking behind the light, stared intently at her. Seeing her enemies appear one by one, Jeanne d'Arc showed no worry. She thought to herself with boredom, a killing intent flashing, "The Lord needs no other messenger but me." At that moment, another beam of light undulated in the air. A stream of abundant energy shot straight through the sky, then rushed down to the ground. The first Fuma Kotaro gradually appeared. He looked around and said to himself, "This place is a world he doesn't know yet." The light emanating from the first's body grew stronger, until it began to fade, and then disappeared completely, revealing a tree branch in the middle of this barren, flat world. This is the 32nd layer of the world, a boundless, empty space, with the upper and lower branches connected by a flat, brick-like surface. Fuma Kotaro the first observed for a while, then spoke, his tone devoid of emotion. "This empty space, what a perfect place for a fight." Hearing a sound behind him, he glanced back. At that moment, another light suddenly descended. Someone's hair peeked out from behind the illusory energy. He put his hand behind his neck, and with a self-satisfied attitude asked, "You wouldn't happen to be a ninja, would you?" Judging by his aura, he boldly declared, "This guy is the reincarnated Ishikawa Gomen." He arrogantly challenged him immediately, "How about a little ninja showdown?" Hearing that, Fuma Kotaro the first muttered, "Ninja." Ishikawa Gomen continued to boast, confidently introducing himself, "I was a ninja, you know, the great thief of every household, the magnificent Ishikawa Gomen." Immediately, a series of explosions erupted in the air. Both of them assumed fighting stances, surrounded by the sounds of clashing magic. Ishikawa Gomen brandished his sharp claws, excitedly saying, "Aha, those movements, definitely a ninja." Hearing that, the first unconsciously smiled, "Ha." He replied with amusement, "This is looking fun." Ishikawa Gomen raised his fist, then suddenly stopped. Instead of charging at Fuma the first, he punched the ground hard, shattering the stone floor. He didn't stop there, he poured more chi into the blow, causing the ground to crack further, extending into branches. The first stared at the cracked stone floor, wondering about his true intentions. At that moment, Ishikawa Gomen suddenly shouted, "Ninjutsu, Hibari, fire needle." Immediately, a large vortex appeared at the end of a crack, spewing out magma, shooting straight into the sky. Seeing the continuous eruption of magma, Fuma Kotaro the first quickly jumped, dodging the stream aimed at him. His face remained unchanged. He thought to himself, "Pulling magma from the earth, I let my guard down." The first's eyes narrowed. He looked towards where Ishikawa Gomen had been standing. He was startled to realize the man had disappeared. Immediately, the space shook violently again. Ishikawa Gomen suddenly appeared, charging forward with a fist raised, a triumphant smile on his face. A massive explosion occurred in the air. Ishikawa Gomen's body flew out from the center of the explosion. He exclaimed, not bad. My unique skill is mind reading. I can read your thoughts through your expressions, but you're too fast. You dodged before I could react. His bloodthirsty gaze was fixed on the first. He challenged loudly, now it's your turn to reveal your unique skill. Don't you think killing each other like this would be more exciting? The more Ishikawa Gomen spoke, the more bloodthirsty he became, his face showing clear madness. Let's put all our cards on the table and fight to the death, because we're both battle maniacs. Fuma Kotaro the first distanced himself, still clutching his shuriken. Hearing this, he smiled again. His eyes blazing with killing intent, he said to his opponent, my unique skill is death perception. I have eyes that tell me when a living being will die. He looked for a moment then menacingly said, you'll die in 10 seconds. Hearing that, Ishikawa Gomen was a little surprised. He stood there for a moment, then shouted, interesting. Then I'll defy that fate. The chi in the air grew stronger, both of them prepared their stances. Then, they continuously clashed, the sounds of weapons colliding echoing through the air, creating a series of large explosions. Fuma the first quickly used shuriken to block his attacks. Ishikawa Gomen also continuously counterattacked. Soon the sky was filled with the sound of gas explosions, accompanied by the deafening sound of metal. As they gradually lost their strength, the two charged at each other one last time. Ishikawa Gomen weakly knelt on the stone floor, gasping for breath. Ahaha, the first calmly listened to the mocking laughter, haha. After 10 minutes of struggling, Ishikawa Gomen looked at the first, laughing triumphantly, I'm still alive, am I, ha ha ha. Immediately, a series of slashes appeared on his body. The slashes tore his body apart. The first slowly turned his back. His face broke into a smug smile, only then did he introduce himself, my name is Fuma Kotaro the first. Ishikawa Gomen weakly asked, Fuma, what did you say? Realizing the truth, he laughed self-mockingly, haha, you're the founder of ninjutsu, I can't beat someone like you. Pieces of his flesh drifted down through the air. The first looked into the empty space before him, silently admiring, your courage was excellent, young one. At that moment, another light appeared, and Fuma Kotaro emerged from the hazy glow. He looked around with blazing red eyes. His mask, reappearing from nowhere, covered half of Fuma the Fifth's face. The first smiled at this. He slowly said, I didn't expect we'd meet again so soon.